Today I'm going to be making an out of this world. I wanted to say that so badly. I'm going to make an out of this world Valentine's Day card. What I'm going to be using are what you see here. I've already gone ahead and gotten a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card base. I have embossed this already with the Tim Holtz embossing folder. I already put this little slot in here off camera just so we could get going, but when I take so much time telling you about it, I might as well have just done it on camera, right? I know this metal type material has a shine to it, so I know it's going to be hard on camera, but here we are. We have this set from Kindred Stamps. It's called Galactic Descendants. You might know them as people from Star Wars. But we're not supposed to say that, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, so it has, my grandson likes this little guy, BB-8. And so what I thought I would do is make a slider card, because that's fun, right? A slider card and have the slider going across. And my idea was to put it on a nice green background, you know, with some hills and things. So I called my son, his father, and said, Star Wars is set like in sand and such, you know, like on worlds that have snow and sand. And so I was like, oh, if I get this wrong, it's just not going to be right. So I said, hey, what world does BB-8 live in? And he said, oh, BB-8 stays on the ship mostly. He never gets off. Very rarely gets off. And I said, but he said if he did, he would get off in sand. And I looked at the sand idea and I was like, I have to have a better idea than that. So I found this here, and I like this because it looks like something that would be on a ship, don't you think? All right, so I'm going to color this guy and BB-8. Problem with BB-8 is I have to look at a picture because I'm not sure exactly what he looks like. So I'm going to have to look at this picture and make sure I get the orange in the right spot. So I know I'm going to need an orange, and he's mostly white, which is interesting, and it means he'll kind of stick out on there. My idea is to have him roll down to, now, you have to know my grandson dressed up as a Jedi for Halloween. So I kind of thought I would make it kind of look like him, and then that way, I know the stubble's not going to help much, but here we are. What are you going to do? And then put BB Mine, which is the little thing on here. I already stamped it. I haven't cut it out yet. But I might dress it up a little bit, maybe with some orange around it or something. Might make it look a little cooler for the... And then I thought, too, you know what I could do? I could take this, cut it out, and put it on something else metal, just to be a little bit more like it's a sign in the ship there. So we'll see about that. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's get this coloring done. Our little Jedi, and we've got BB-8, and we've got a BB Mine. And of course, I'm sure I'll have some heart or something on there as well. This was the one you saw earlier, and I just thought it was too gray. It didn't look white enough, so I made him a lot lighter, and I think he looks better. And then I put the orange on there, and I kind of like the orange on top. I might redo him yet again, but I doubt it, because at this point, I think he's close enough to obviously being BB-8. So now I'm going to have to fussy cut. because I do not have any dies with this, so I'm going to have to fussy cut, and this circle is going to kill me because I do not fussy cut circles very well. And this particular one, I do want to be close to the edge, so it's going to take me a minute or two. I might have to come back when they're all cut out. In fact, I think I'll probably end up doing that. I just wanted to show you that when you cut them out, the nice part about, I like to bubble cut, fussy cut. I don't really mind doing it. In fact, a lot of people are very anti fussy cutting, but you'll notice that there's a lot of white around there. And because he's kind of an outdoorsy guy, I'm going to go ahead and use my distress ink, and I'm going to go around the outside, because if it makes them look a little dirty, that's okay. But it'll cover up all that white, and that white will be gone. And all of a sudden, I look like a much better fussy cutter than I actually am. See that? That's why I came back before I did this, because if I had to come back, you'd have thought I was a really good fussy cutter, and I'm really not. I like it though. I get kind of in the mode, you know, and it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of therapeutic, I guess. But I would feel I could only do it. I couldn't just fussy cut for hours on end. I got to do it with you know, something in mind. But look how much better he looks now. He's got, all that white is gone, and even around the sides. You could also use a black marker, but you got to be careful with a black marker because sometimes it bleeds, and it'll bleed into your picture. I don't like when it does that. So we'll get some BB-8 here. This little antenna proved to be quite the thing. Just gonna say, if it makes it, I'll be surprised, but it's okay because the pictures I saw of him, he looked very dirty. So I don't know where he was getting so dirty if he didn't leave the ship much. Maybe I should watch and see. Maybe I would be better off. But my son has a pretty good source, so I think he knew what he was talking about. But I think that looks cute. All right, let's move on to the next stage here. So I cut these out earlier, and I didn't want to, we got these two guys, and I didn't want to have you watch me do it, but because it's kind of, and this is going to be bad because of the blurriness, but I want you to see what I'm going to do here. So I have some different distress crayons, and because of the background on here, if you take the black crayon, it'll make it stick up a little bit more, and it'll look really cool. It gets more of a 3D look to it. So you can kind of do this, and when you, I'm sorry my furnace is on. If you're like me, you're living in an area that it's constantly cold and the furnace constantly comes on, so we really don't have a whole lot of say in that. So what I'm doing is I'm rubbing it with my finger to get it to move. And you'll see right now my finger is full of the black distress, and there's not as much here. But I can put a little bit down, and remember, because it's distress, it's going to move. So you do this, and you got it moving a whole lot more. Depends on how much you want it to move. So you can keep it really heavy, or you can add some water and lighten it up and make it a little lighter. And I think this makes it start to look like metal more than if you just have it by itself. I know it looks metal by itself, but it doesn't look like, I don't know, it doesn't look industrial. I think this really makes it look industrial, which is ironic because Tim Holtz is known for like industrial, and I have a lot of his items because I like the look. And I was looking around going, why don't I have anything industrial that's going to work for this? But I think this works just fine. I'm very happy with it. So we'll see. I think it makes a good background for this. You don't want to do that too much, because if you bend metal, you'll always have that bend in there. It'll be hard to get it out unless you put it through and then you risk getting that double. And after this point of it, the you know, where it kind of, you get a second imprint, and it kind of has a, like, almost like a stuttery, you know, it's like when you stamp twice on something. If you don't hit it right on it, it's like that, and it really bothers me. So now, it's no longer quite as shiny as it was, but it kind of looks like, it looks more like metal. So what I usually do is take a rag and go across it too. So a lot of that black will stay in there. And that looks kind of cool, I think. So I think it looks very like it's on a ship. I like that idea. So when my son told me that, I didn't know what I was going to do, but then I found this and it's perfect. And I even thought in my mind, did I have something, you know, stencils or, you know, so many different ideas. Stamps, stencils, what do I have? I probably have a stamp that might work, but I think it'd be a lot harder, and I think this is a cool effect. And I don't think I've ever sent him anything with the metal, so I think he'll like it. All right, now, here's the other thing. So when I cut it out, what I've learned, and I'm sure you guys are all like, everybody knows that, but you have to cut something out before you emboss it. Otherwise, if you go to cut it out, it'll go through and it'll flatten out your embossing. Yeah, so I was pretty proud of myself for remembering that beforehand, because I could see me doing that afterwards. It wouldn't be quite the same effect. All right, so here's my idea. And here's the other thing. You know, sometimes you have visions and you work on them and then you do it and it just doesn't come out. And that happens, you know, it happens to everybody. So my idea is to put this underneath here, first of all, right where it's going to be. So you're not going to see this. Now, I'm going to prop this up. I'm going to have to put this right before I do it. But I'm going to prop this little guy up. But I want to see where he's going to be and put this down before. It's just a background so you don't see white when he's... Let's just do it this way. Let's go like this. And we can use it later as kind of a guide, because it's going to sit up higher. Getting better with it, but it just takes time. A lot of this is just the more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you learn, you know, so you're like, oh yeah, I definitely have to make sure that I cut this thing out before I make it. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. All right, so now I got that down. Now my next thing I want to do is, let's do this. Oh, I got some stuff on there. That's okay. Nobody's going to see that. So I want to put him over here. My main idea for him is that BB-8 is going to be going to him. So I'm going to put him like that. And then BB-8 will roll along here and come back. Now, after I said that, I have realized, oh, there goes the antenna. I'm going to have to do something with that afterwards. I figured that was going to happen. It was just very precarious. We'll see. I might not even bother. Might just put it like this, and I don't know. We'll see. All right, but so if he goes across like this, I'm worried it's going to get caught on this. I have a feeling this is going to be all kinds of fun. I'm going to glue him onto here. It's like a little outline of them. Maybe I should make this black first. Let's make this black so you won't really see it. It'll kind of make it look. And it's a very thick circle. And I want to use that because it's got to be very, very, I want to make sure it's very, very strong. And that's the smallest circle I have that can do that. So I think that'll work. Let's glue this down. I mean, you know, it's not like I couldn't do all this again. Not that I want to. Which is always what I have to tell myself. Do you really want to do all this again? No, so pay attention. Okay, so here's BB-8's base. Now he's got a base on there. And the idea is that if you use a piece of tape and you put it through, and somewhere over here, I have cut out a second circle, and you put it through that space, and he'll be able to go back and forth. But I think I want to put him down first, right here. And look at his big head. He's got a huge head. So I'm sure this is not Star Wars. This is, what did they call it again? Oh yeah, Galactic Descendants. Huh. I wonder if that just says that this is going to be a bigger set. Okay, let's put this guy right here. so that when he comes over, he'll be right by him, okay? Yeah, let's put him there. Let's put this little thing on him so he can hopefully stick with all of that metal and such, right? All right, so now, kind of, these are like the old penny sliders. I'm doing the same idea if you've ever used those. If this isn't strong enough, I can add a penny instead, and that's kind of my idea. I'm going to try it with this. If it doesn't work, I will add a penny instead. This needs to sit up high, high, high. Let's put this on last. Let's see. Does he work if he's just sitting here? You know what? I don't think it's heavy enough. I think I need a penny. I don't think it's going to be heavy enough without the penny. Well, that's kind of sad, huh? I thought it would work like this. I don't think it's going to. Let me see. Yeah, it's not heavy enough. All right, well, live and learn. Let me go get a penny and I'll be back. I decided a dime might be better because a dime is smaller, but I think we're going to have to take this off, which makes me sad now because I got it on there and I was pretty proud of myself. But there we go, I got it off. All right, now I'm going to try this glue. Let's let this stick. I think I tried this once before with a coin and it took a really long time for it to dry. So we might be here for a minute. But while we're here, hopefully that's... I'm going to be brave. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, I think this is going to help it slide. If it doesn't work after I try it, then I will put it up higher. That's my idea. Because I just want to see if it's going to work or not. If it doesn't work, that's okay. All right, ready for the... Is it going to work? Is it going... Maybe I need to put some slidey stuff on it, you know? There we go. Maybe oil, if I oil it. That's going pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that'll work. All right, let's put the BB mine up here. These will probably go in the mail. I'm kind of worried about putting it in the mail now. So I might just give it to him when I see him next weekend. So I'm supposed to see him next weekend. So I might just give it to him and tell him to hang on to it. Oh, this does not look very straight, does it? That's okay. I'm not going to worry about that as much as I would like to worry about it. But it's a little hard to worry about that now, isn't it? Here we go. Because I can't really do a lot about it. It looks almost like it was meant to be that crooked at this point. Oh, man. I might cut it off and put it back on another one. I could do that. I'll probably do that. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my slider card. And I hope that, you know, if I've inspired you a little bit, it's not too hard to make one of these little guys. And especially if it fits the theme of whatever it is your little one or big one is into. Keep crafting.
And dance by the light of the moon.